This is Ben.
And Colin.
And you are listening to the BlackjackApprenticeship.com Bootcamp. And we are live in Las Vegas now. Podcast. What did I say?
Bootcamp.
Bootcamp is tomorrow. And one of the things you might notice is the sound quality is a little bit off right now because we are sitting in a house that we're going to be doing the bootcamp in tomorrow, and we don't have our microphone here yet. But we have a special guest that we're excited to talk to today. His name is Steve. Steve, I couldn't pronounce your last name.
It's Bourie.
Bourie. Okay.
Rhymes with Lori.
Steve Bourie, who, among other things, is the author of the American Casino Guide.
Correct.
And I don't know, did you ever have a copy of this? I remember I bought a copy of this. I feel like it was 2004.
I remember on our trips, that was like how we planned our trips was, we had a copy and we knew where the casinos were and we would tear out coupons.
And this isn't pre-internet, but this was before you could just zip around on Yelp or Google Maps or iPhones. And it was really helpful. I remember having a copy. So you want to tell us a story of how this book came to be? Not necessarily the 2004 edition.
No. Well, actually, it started back in 1992. It started out as a little pamphlet, a little 8-page pamphlet giving information on casinos in the United States, and only did and I did it as a lark because I was involved in the gambling industry, but I was involved in pari-mutuels. I was the marketing director at a pari-mutuel place in Florida.
What does involved in the gambling industry mean?
Well, in pari-mutuels, it's a gambling business, except it's not you against the house, it's you against each other, and the house takes a commission and then splits the proceeds among the bettors. So it is a form of gambling, but it's not casino gambling, it's pari-mutuel gambling.
Huh.
So I was always intrigued by casinos, and I wanted to try and get out of this job. I wasn't 100% happy there, and I said, well, maybe if this is when the start of Indian casinos were coming out and riverboat casinos. So I said, I'll put together this pamphlet. And actually, to go even further, there was someone who was involved in selling Vegas vacations. And so he wanted me to sell these vacations. So I said, if I put this pamphlet out and I'll put an ad in there for the vacations, people will come and get this little pamphlet and they'll buy these vacations and I'll make a commission. So I created this little pamphlet on casinos in Reno, Las Vegas, Lake Tahoe, in Atlantic City. And I sent out a press release to travel writers about the U.S. I said, I have this, and I was going to give it away. And I said, well, I'll charge $1 for it, just to recover my costs. And some travel writers wrote about it, and I sold like 2,000 copies of this.
Nice.
And then nobody bought any travel. So nobody bought one of the packages. So I said, well, maybe there's more to this. So I did it again the next year, and I sold like 4,000. And I said, well, maybe there's enough to put together a book. So I went out and found a book called The Self-Publishing Manual by a guy named Dan Pointer, and I learned how to get an ISBN and create a book and put a book out there. And it started out as a hobby, and I was eventually able to make money at it and leave my job. And now I've been doing it full time for 15 years, 18 years, something like that.
Wow.
There's a new edition every year?
There's a new edition every year. I like to think that people buy it because it's a wonderful publication and they love the way I write, but that's not really the case because the biggest driver of the book sales are the coupons in the back of the book, because the book's divided into 3 parts. The front part has information on how to play the games. It covers blackjack, craps, roulette, baccarat, slot machines, and video poker. And so that stuff doesn't change too much from year to year. And then the middle part has information on casinos in 41 states, more than 700 casinos, has maps of every place showing you where the casinos are, then the room rates, buffet prices, and the special features of every casino, the games offered. And then the back of the book has coupons. And the 2015 edition, which is out now, comes out every year in November, a new edition, that has 200 coupons. And usually if you just use 1 or 2 of the coupons, you can recover the cost of the book. So the basic idea, because I love to gamble myself, and it's something that you can use. You'll find it very useful because of the information and also the coupons. So if you go out and it's, like 2-for-1 buffets, gambling bonuses, room discounts, 2-for-1 shows, things like that.
So what kind of gambling do you do?
Well, right now, mostly video poker. Usually it's all video poker. I had had learned to count cards, and I did that for about 6 years. But I was never brave enough to put huge amounts of money out there. I was just curious about it. I said, well, if I write this book, I should probably, be somewhat proficient in being able to write about blackjack, because I always knew the basic strategy that I had committed to memory. But I took it further, and I learned to count cards, and it did work. I never really made, because I would go from like $10 to $50. That was it. And it was more of a, just to see whether or not it worked. But I found that it was a lot of work, and I would get if you're doing an 8-deck shoe, which is what we had, because we had a casino boats in Florida at that time, and they had 8-deck shoes, and it was a little bit of mental stress for all that work. And then once in a while I'd come to Las Vegas and count there, but I never got much in the way of comps because I never bet enough. So I found that video poker was a much better game for me, because now when I comp, usually I get my room comped and the meals comped. And
so like advantage play video poker, or just having a good time looking for a royal flush video poker? Just
having a good time looking for a royal flush, but also playing a game at a break-even level and being able to take advantage of the comps.
Okay.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So I heard a funny story before we started this podcast about you trying to drive to every casino in the country, or travel to.
I did that one time, and I made 2 different trips. I think I started in New Orleans, went to every casino in Mississippi, and then I think I got the 2 over in Arkansas, and then flew back home, and then I went up to Illinois, saw the
so you didn't make
casinos it? No, it lasted maybe. I made 2 trips, but I did an awful lot of driving. I saw every casino in Indiana and Eastern Iowa and Illinois, so it was hectic.
So casinos, how do you feel? Do you still get excited going into a casino, or do you kind of, being in the casino industry, I think some of us tend to see the casinos for what they are, which is not the place where all our dreams come true, as much as, I mean, we got to be careful what we say on here, because we have friends that work at casinos, but how do you see casinos after all these years?
Well, I'm always fascinated by casinos. I always loved casino gambling. It was actually, I got kicked out of a casino when I was 20 years old. It was Binion's in downtown. I had a layover on the way back from California, and I was wandering downtown. And back then, I was fascinated because they used to have the horse racing game. The horse racing one where you would put the quarters in. Did you ever? This might be before you.
I think that was a bit before our time.
Yeah, but that was a cool thing. And I was in there looking at it, and then the security guard came up, asked me for an ID, and I was only 20 at the time. So they just kicked me out. But I was always fascinated. I'm especially fascinated by people who can risk so much money. I said, where do they have all this money from? I mean, how can they put so much money out there? And a lot of them are just bad bettors. So a lot of them they're just terrible bettors. But unfortunately, I guess that is really what the casino likes.
Yeah.
They like people who are not knowledgeable, because if you know too much, they don't mind you winning. They just don't want you to win consistently. But my philosophy is you can go into casinos and you can have lots of fun. Just be careful, and the more knowledge you have, the better off you'll be. Unfortunately, some people get gambling problems. Some people develop gambling problems, but the vast majority of people do not. That's not a problem for them. But you can go to casinos and have a lot of fun, and not spend a lot of money.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So, do you have a favorite casino that you've been to in the country, or is there a world casino guide, or is it just America, U.S.?
Well, all I do is the U.S. I think there's other people out there that may do it, but usually it's on the internet. It's not in a book form. But my favorite, because I tell people, I say, well, I'll play in dumpy casinos. I don't really care if they have good games. I'll go in a dumpy casino. I think it's a good deal.
It's the game that you look for rather than the
sure.
The
I mean,
shiny.
You can go right. Well, you go up and down the Vegas Strip, and you'll find bad video poker in all of the casinos. So if I come to Vegas, I'm going to usually play it somewhere off the Strip. I like to play at Sam's Town. Sam's Town has very good video poker.
But if you're going to play winning video poker, wouldn't you rather play with a pirate theme versus I've been to some casinos where I remember one casino where the pit bosses had fly swatters.
Yeah. More of a garbage theme.
It was it was in a gas station. We should tell you something. But I don't know. Environment's kind of nice. You don't have any that stand out as the casino for you?
No, not really. I remember years ago there used to be the was it Treasure Bay in Mississippi? Were you guys there when it was a pirate ship? And then Katrina came and it sank. That was pretty cool.
No, I've been there since Katrina.
Oh, that old one was pretty cool.
That's one of the few casinos with open windows.
Really?
The entire front of it is windows that you can see through, so you know what time of day it is. Whereas most casinos, they don't want you to know if it's day or night. Or
one other casino that always comes to mind when people ask me about the different casinos is the Peppermill in Reno. Because I say, I believe they have more neon inside than you see in a casino outside. That place is amazing.
So what you said that you play for the comps, but then you also don't care if it's a nice casino or not. So what are the comps you enjoy? Is it the meals or?
Well, usually the room is comped. I mean, well, like on a trip now where I'm staying, they're giving me their comp in the room, and they give me $40 a day in food credit and $40 a day in free play.
Nice.
So.
Now, what information for card counters would we find in your book besides casino locations that, or I guess I have two questions. The first is, where do you get your information from? You get that 700 casinos. Do you call them all up, or do you visit them, or do you have people fill out reports? Or?
No, years ago we used to send them a information form and ask them to fill out and send it back, but we never got too much response. So we just call and we update the information. We don't have information on the specific types of blackjack games. We just say, yes, they have blackjack, craps, roulette. And it all varies from state to state. Some states don't allow table games. Some states don't allow video poker. There's all sorts of nuances from state to state and casino to casino.
Mm-hmm.
So any plans for the future? You guys are developing some new technologies, I guess, with your iPhone app.
Right. Well, we have an iPhone app and an Android app. If you go to Google Play Store, you can put in American Casino Guide or go to the iTunes.
And Richard Munchkin gave a raving review of it.
I heard, and I have not met him yet, so I guess I'll meet him at the party.
Yeah.
And those are free, right? The apps.
They're free. There's no charge for it.
So you can check those out.
Right, and it'll, it's pretty convenient. I use it all the time, especially here, to get directions to the casinos.
And do you sell like a Kindle app, or are you concerned at all just in book publishing? Have you noticed book sales going down with people moving to digital stuff? Or
well, there's a trend in book publishing all over for it to be declining. So I guess the future, everyone's doing everything on their phone now. So it was something that had to be done. So it's out there, and if you have the book, it's especially good because there's a little function there where you can bring up a list of all the casinos that have a coupon in the book. So if you're on the Las Vegas Strip or you're traveling the highway, you hit the map, you go to the coupon section, you hit the map, it'll show you any casino within 50 or 100 miles of you that has a coupon in the book, and then you click on it and it'll tell you what the coupon is.
How do you get these coupons? Or do you call up the casinos and just make them a deal, or?
We don't charge the casinos, and we just ask that they give us something good that someone can't come in and walk in off the street and just get. So it's somewhat exclusive to the book, so it helps us to sell books, and it helps bring customers into the casino.
And for people that are listening that aren't familiar, this was a huge part of our strategy early on to grow our bankroll.
I used some of those coupons, I remember.
Man, well, just any match play, any free bet, anything we could get our hands on was because it's really low risk as opposed to card count. The EV might be 45% of face value, right. And we use that a lot to grow our bankroll early on. So it's a valuable tip for people to know.
My son Matt did an article about a coupon run, which we have on our site about if you were to go and use all the gambling coupons. And I forget how much it was, maybe $200 in coupons.
I think it's something like that, yeah.
Nice.
Matt is in the room with us, and speaking of Matt, one of the reasons why Steve and Matt are here is because Matt is going to be attending the Blackjack Bootcamp tomorrow. and he's still going to be brushing up on his basic strategy. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
So we asked Matt where he's at with his card counting game, and he says he knows most of basic strategy, to which I said if I had a nickel for every time I heard someone say that they know most of basic strategy, I would be very rich. So between now and tomorrow, I don't know if you have time, but getting basic strategy down, I mean, that's a life skill for someone who's publishing a casino book, in my opinion.
My dad has been telling me that for at least 10 years.
All right. Well, it might be time to listen to Dad here.
I will, just for you guys.
But he does use your Blackjack Trainer app once.
Nice.
All right. Well, Blackjack Trainer app, prerequisite, basic strategy from now on. So looking forward to that. Are you? Is there anything? How much do you know about the boot camp?
Not much. I mean, I've seen some of your podcasts before, and I've seen the movie that you guys did about all the money you've made. But I'm pretty interested to see what it is. I assume it's just learning how to count cards and all that.
Yep, that's what it is.
That's what it is, counting cards and all that. And there's going to be a review of the boot camp, is that right? Or some sort of write-up?
Well, what we're trying to do is give people a sense of what it's like to attend your boot camp. So people want more information on it. And Matt would be the guinea pig, so to speak.
Cool.
To take your class.
So this will be a good little test case for us to see what it's like for an absolute beginner to go through a boot camp. And we're looking forward to that.
Yeah. And Steve is also going to be attending the Blackjack Ball tomorrow night with us. So that'll be cool. This is your first one?
It's my first one. I had been invited in years past, but I was never here at the right time. So finally got here at the right time. But I was fortunate. I think I got the very last seat available.
Yeah. So in years past, you said, "Oh, that's all right, not a big deal," and other people are dying to get in. This year, you said, "I want to get in," and had to get a last seat to get in. So we'll probably do we should do a separate podcast.
Yeah. So we got a big weekend. So there's going to be probably more recording going on. But we have the boot camp tomorrow. And we're changing the times of it because we have to go straight from the boot camp to the Blackjack Ball, which I think starts around 6 or 7 p.m.
Kind of starts earlier-ish for.
Do you have
on
your
the invitation? It said 5. It starts at 5. But
mingling and drinks.
Do you have your champagne?
I do.
Okay.
That's where you get your nervous jitters out.
So for those of you that don't know, you have to bring one premium bottle of champagne as your entry fee into the Blackjack Ball.
Yep.
And it's invitation only. And then the next day, we're doing an advanced boot camp, which is Sunday. And then we leave Vegas on Monday. And how long are you in town for?
We leave Wednesday.
Cool. Well, it was nice talking to you, Steve. Where's the best place to get this book?
Well, we have a website, AmericanCasinoGuide.com. And actually, a lot of the information that's in the book is also available on the site. The book sells in bookstores for $18.95. We discount the price to $13.49. Amazon sells the book. Actually, if you go to Amazon, it's the #1 bestseller in gambling books. So those are the two best places, awesome. Either AmericanCasinoGuide.com or Amazon.com.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time and talking about what you're up to, and we appreciate it's nice meeting you after personally reading your book more than 10 years ago, close to 15 years ago now.
And this is a funny anecdote. So Steve and I met up at Tulalip Casino.
Are you serious?
He did an interview of me for the YouTube channel, and I still have people tell me that they've watched that to find out about me. It's like they start researching card counting or whatever, and they're like, "Is this real?" And they come across that video. So
I don't know if I've ever seen that video. When was that?
It's on the internet.
I forgot we have a YouTube channel too.
Oh, let's hear about that.
So I had interviewed Colin, like he said, I think it was about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
My wife and I had flown up to Seattle, and we drove down to San Francisco and stopped at all the Indian casinos along the way. It was a beautiful trip.
Yeah. And the highlight was Steve bought me a beer.
Oh, I forgot that part.
That's right. We hung out and had a beer, and then I made it out of there without getting backed off incognito.
That's always a plus.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, thanks for listening. We're going to be recording more this weekend for future podcasts, and check out the app, the book, the website,
the YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel. And of course, we have all our own stuff. We have more podcasts and a training course and forum on our website, blackjackapprenticeship.com. So my name is Ben.
I'm Colin.
And we'll see you next time.